Hey, it's Q&A Tuesday. Guys, first off, I want to thank you once again for all the questions that are pouring in on the previous episodes. It gives me material to talk about certain things. If I don't answer on this particular episode, I will promise to answer in the comments the best that I can. And remember, if you want your questions answered, go ahead and comment below this video with new questions in regards to what you want me to answer. And again, I'll do my best to get to them. So let's jump right into it. Here's a question from Philip Stojakovic. And again, I apologize if I got your name wrong. Great video as always, thank you. I have a question. Can anything be done about PVD coated watch losing color, more specifically a blackout deep sea dweller? Is there a fix or is it a lost cause? Well, any watch out there that breaks, that scratches, that something goes wrong with is never a lost cause. Everything can be fixed, but at a price. Now, you mentioned a blackout deep sea dweller. Obviously, this is an aftermarket done watch because Rolex doesn't make PVD watches, nor do they black out their sea dweller. Guys like Bamper do that, and a whole slew of aftermarket guys that will black out your watch using the PVD technology. Now, unfortunately, PVD is a chemical process. It's not something that's painted on. It's not something that's glued on. And in order for a PVD coat to take onto a stainless steel or titanium watch, which is mostly what it's done on, you have to strip the entire watch. And what I mean by stripping is that when they took your sea dweller originally, what they did is they polished it all up, made sure that it's super clean, took it all apart, and then they went through with the PVD coating. It's a 4-step process. It means they dip it 4 times in order for it to hold later on. So what do you need to do in order to get your color back to that rich black color and have it not faded looking? You have to get it redone. And unfortunately, it's costly. My cost on something like that is around $850 wholesale. A retail customer expects to pay anywhere from $1,100 to $1,200 to get their watch PVD'd properly. You can get it done for $300-400, but the result will be what you said. The watch will get faded, it'll scratch easier, and it won't last as long. So what they have to do now is they have to take your watch entirely, completely apart, remove the old PVD coating by repolishing the watch, then re-PVD it over, and it'll be back as good as new. Next question comes from Charlie Gong. Hey Roman, I love your videos. Thank you very much. My question for you is, if you were making 100,000 USD per year after taxes, what brand and model would you buy for yourself other than Rolex? Thanks, bro. Much love. Well, first of all, congratulations. If you're making 100 grand a year after taxes, you fall into the top 4% financial category of people in the world. And of course, it allows you to afford some fancy toys. Now, there's always that question, how much do I spend on a watch? If I'm making this much, do I spend an X percentage of my income? Do I spend my monthly income? Do I spend my bi-monthly income? It's kind of like that whole engagement ring thing where you should spend 2 months of your salary on an engagement ring. Honestly, it's all bull. What I always tell people is to live within their means. And for somebody that's making 100 grand after taxes per year, I don't know what your expenses are. I don't know what your mortgage is, your car payments, college funds, etc., etc. However, you need to first find what you like first and foremost and ask yourself a question: how much do I love this watch? Do I love this watch enough to spend $50,000, which takes me a half a year to make? Or do I want to be a little bit more conservative and say, you know what, let me spend my monthly income on a watch or a bi-monthly week on a watch and set a goal to buy another watch a few years later. So as long as you do it that way, I think it's perfectly normal. What I a lot of times find people do is they actually end up having a watch fund into which they'll put away $1,000 or $2,000 a month, buy their watch, and they end up getting a watch at a particular price every so often, usually every couple of years. What would I get? I would look at Audemars. And again, I'm biased. Audemars Piguet is my favorite brand. So, you know, I would look at the offshore line in stainless steel, look at things like maybe, I don't know, the Havana offshore. I like that particular one. The Vampire offshore is really, really nice. The Elephant is really, really nice. And you're going to look to pick that up around the $20,000 price range. Now, for somebody that makes 100 grand a year, that's 20% of your income. However, if you do it incrementally, if over the next year you put away a couple of $1,000s a month, which you will not feel at that income, come end of the year, you're going to end up with a watch without having to lay out the entire 20 grand at one time. That's what I would do, and that's my advice to you. Stephen P., you continue to hit the ball out of the park. Thank you. Don't forget my request on the pros and cons of watch winders. Now, this is a good one because I am one of those people that does not believe in watch winders at all. I think they're a piece of furniture that looks great in your closet, looks great on top of your desk, in your office. It's just a good looking piece of furniture. As far as functionality of those, people tell you, oh, if you have a mechanical watch, you want to have it wound, you want to have it working, you don't want it sitting there for years and years at a time. Otherwise, the oil will get stale and the watch will stop working. That is true. But how many of you own a watch or own a bunch of watches that you don't wear years at a time? I don't know of many people that do that. And if you do that, you need to sell those watches, because if they're not getting any wear time, they should not be laying around. It's a waste of time and it's a waste of money, no pun intended. But look, back to watch winders. What are they designed to do? They're basically designed to keep your watch going as you are not wearing, therefore keeping the mechanism moving, keeping all the oil in check, and making sure that the watch is nice and wound the next time you go to take it off the winder and put it on your wrist. The downside, if you don't have a watch winder and you have a watch that stops, you have to wind it. Wow, that's so difficult, right? But one useful thing that a watch winder could be for is if you own a perpetual calendar that doesn't have the quick set functionality, and let's say that's a watch you put on once every 6 months for special occasions, it would be extremely difficult for you to sit there and continue winding that watch to get the month right, to get the week right, to get the moon phase right, and so on and so forth. So it's nice to have a watch winder to keep that watch going in order for you to be able to take it off the winder, put it on your wrist, and everything would be correct. But for the most part, I think watch winders are only necessary if you want them for the aesthetics. If you want to see a beautiful watch winder in your closet or on your office desk or somewhere in your house on a shelf in a library, it's aesthetically pleasing, it's aesthetically beautiful, and there's nothing more soothing and relaxing than watching a watch winder wind your watch back and forth. Next question comes from Brian S. Hey Roman, really digging this series. Thank you very much. My questions are, what are your thoughts on self-winding versus manual winding watches? What would be the best quality to price watch you would recommend? What's one watch that you want in your collection but can never get your hands on? And last, have you ever supplied watches to famous celebrities? If so, what watch did they ask for? So let me go through these real quick. First question, manual versus self-winding watches. It's really a matter of preference, honestly. Believe it or not, some people actually prefer manual wind versus automatic. Now this may sound corny, but a lot of guys tell me, look, when I have a manual wind watch, it allows me time to spend with my watch hands-on. Because a lot of times you put on the watch and you kind of forget about it. It's always there once you get used to wearing a watch. But if you have to wind it every 24 or 48 or however long the power reserve may be on the watch, you literally get to spend time with your watch. You get to handle it, you get to touch it, you get to play with it, you get to move hands around, and so on and so forth. And this is why some guys prefer manual wind watches. Now for those on the go that actually really use their watch and rely on their watch to keep time all the time, and rather than looking at their iPhone, they actually look at their watch, I obviously suggest automatic winding watches, because if you wear your watch daily, it will never stop on you, it will always show you the time. It's a convenience factor. What would be the best quality to price watch you would recommend? Well, that's actually very difficult. It's basically, again, going back to what I said, find what you like first and foremost in terms of a brand, align within that brand, and then the model, and make sure the affordability factor is there. So if you're buying yourself a $10,000 watch, you can pick from pretty much any brand out there, whether it's AP, Richard Mille, Rolex, Hublot, Piaget, Vacheron, IWC, Panerai, etc. All those guys are high quality brands. All these brands have huge history behind them, some of them going back 200 plus years. So you really can't go wrong. You really need to find what you like, and you're always going to get a quality watch. This is why these things are so expensive to begin with. They're all handmade by companies that have been around for 200 years, third, fourth, fifth generation watchmakers. They know what they're doing. You're going to get a high quality watch no matter what you do, regardless of the price that you spend. So spend what you can afford within those big brands that you see, and you can't go wrong. What is the one watch you want in your collection but can never get your hands on? Well, some of you guys may be surprised, but my watch collection consists of 0 watches. Yeah, surprise. Well, why? Because I'm in the business. At any given time, if I go downstairs into my bank vault, I will find thousands of pieces that I can take off the shelves, put on my wrist, and wear. Now, does that mean I don't personally own any watches? Yes, I do. Well, actually, I don't. My wife does. So my wife has a huge collection of ladies' pieces, because those are the ones that she owns, she wears, those are hers. She's not going to be the one to walk into my office, pick a different watch every day and wear it. So we find stuff that she likes, we buy it, and she wears those. If I were to collect, like specifically for me personally outside of my business, probably the holy grail watch for me would be the Skymon Tourbillon from Patek Philippe. I got to be honest with you, it's an expensive watch when you're talking about a watch that's over $1 million. And I'm not sure that I'm in the position quite yet to park $1 million+ in a watch just to have it in my safe at home and wear it once in a blue moon. But that would be the one watch. That would be the watch to have. Have you ever supplied watches to famous celebrities? If so, which watches did they ask for? I've supplied many watches to many different celebrities, from sports stars to rock stars to movie stars, etc., even to some reality TV stars. However, these people are just that. They're normal people. So they buy exactly what you guys like. You know, whatever is hot, whatever is happening today, this is what they go for. Some guys collect vintage Rolex. Some guys like Hublot if they're into soccer. Some celebrities like sports models. Some celebrities will go for the latest and the greatest only. So they open up a Watch That magazine, and if they see an ad for a particular Richard Mille, this is what they want. So they're no different from any one of you guys. They buy what's hot. They buy what they like. They buy vintage. They buy modern. They buy a slew of different things. So I can't really pinpoint which watches celebrities particularly prefer. Now, if I were to mention some of those celebrities, which I won't for privacy reasons, I could tell you, well, this particular celebrity prefers this and that particular celebrity prefers that. But for that, you can just go to tmz.com and I'm sure you'll see what wears what, or just Google what celebrities wear and you'll be able to see that. Well, guys, I want to thank you for joining me on another Q&A Tuesday. I hope I was able to answer your questions to your satisfaction. Now, remember, post your next questions below in this video in the comment section. Hopefully, I'll be able to get to it in the next episode. For now, I want to remind you to go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. Don't forget to share my videos, spread the word, and I'll see you guys next time on the next Q&A Tuesday.